G'day everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be telling you about my top 3 tools that I use for nature journaling and why I recommend them. Now you might guess that one of them would be a pen, and you'd be right. Any fountain pen would do the job. The reason why I recommend this kind of pen or a fountain pen is because of the nib. When you can have a range of different types of expression because of the varying width of the brush stroke, it really lets you cover a lot of ground with just one tool. So I like a minimal kit, so having just one pen that can do thin lines, thick lines is really handy, and that's what fountain pens are good for. So this is pretty much my only fountain pen. The other really handy thing about this one, which by the way is the Indigraph pen, it has different nib sizes, but also this one in particular can take waterproof ink. So that means that I can hold waterproof ink in here without clogging up the pen. And then when I want to use watercolor, I can go over the top of my line work without worrying about it smudging, blurring, and doing some strange stuff if you don't use waterproof ink, which most fountain pens you should use, otherwise you can destroy the nib and all the flow of the ink inside. It can clog it up. Next up is something that I would recommend having for multiple reasons, and it's an eraser, but let me show you why this one's special. This kneadable eraser is super handy, so of course you can use it to erase any pencil marks. Now I don't always use pencil marks for drawing. I tend to use the pen more often, but sometimes I feel like I do, and it does a really good job of erasing things without leaving rubbings or smudging. So just in general, a great eraser. But you'll notice it's a lot like blue tack, a sticky gum kind of substance. And a while back I realized that you can use it to stick things. So for example, I've stuck a bit of the eraser, my grey one, onto the lid of my etcher palette here, and then if I want to I can stick that onto my page, and that way it won't fall off easily, and I can use it as like a mixing area for my paint or hold water. So it's really handy for making my workspace hands-free when I'm out in the field. Just tear a bit off and stick it on. Coming in the first spot are bulldog clips. Now, of course, these are great for making sure that your pages don't flap about in the wind, but they're also handy for other things too. For example, when you want to clip things to your workspace, again, rather than sticking with the kneadable eraser, this time clipping maybe a watercolor palette if it can fit, if you've got big enough clips. If it's like a thin palette, then you can easily clip that on. Magnets could do the same thing, but I don't really have any that I work with at the moment, so maybe in future that will be something that I will be getting, because I do really appreciate having my hands free. I pretty much just have to hold the sketchbook and my tool and nothing else. Everything else is set up around me. The other thing is that with these clips you can do things like hold your pen. So maybe not quite this one, but for example, water brush holder. I live in a very windy city, so I need to use these all the time, and you know, they don't weigh very much. It makes it so much better to not have a flapping page. Sometimes I like to clip my cloth for watercolor on my wrist. I can clip it to the page, for example. Let's say if I'm holding a sketchbook, it's hard to wipe underneath. Yeah, so those are my 3 top tools. Tell me, what are your 3 top tools? What ones can't you live without, and which ones make your nature journaling experiences so much more enjoyable or easy or fast? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. And if you're interested in finding out what else I take with me when I go nature journaling, then check out this video up here to see what's in my bag.